Well, now, I guess the chickens have come home to roost, huh? Looks like if we don't get any justice or reparations, look like the ancestors are going to get it for us, huh? That's what it looks like. You know, it's about time, and all this stuff that's going on, and it's waking people up, you know? And hopefully wake up more of our people, you know? Yeah, we built a whole lot of things, and folks just don't want to admit it. You know, we even built the White House. Maybe one day that'll burn down too. Who knows? Anyway, y'all, I'm just checking in, and we're going to talk about some things. So stay tuned. Yeah, y'all, I'm going to tell you the truth. I never even heard of Nota plantation until this happened, until it burnt down. So it's waking people up, I'm going to tell you that. And I guess the owner, what's his name, something Reynolds, had more than 150 slaves in that camp, you know? And had one of the biggest sugar plantations there in America. So, yes, you know, and after, you know, they got modernized and everything, then they want to try to play like, you know, it's a place that you can, you know, rent Airbnb and, you know, like a resort and things like that. And it's really history right in your face. And, you know, it's just like more and more of our history is being revealed. And, you know, you look at it, it's right in plain sight, a lot of history, you know, our history. Yeah, it's about time the damn thing got burnt down or something, because many of us, I'm sure I'm not the only one that didn't even know about it, but yeah, they say it was one of the largest plantations, you know, and they had most of their enslaved people, you know, working the fields for sugar. Yeah, so it's good that joint got destroyed, and you know, at the same process, it opened a lot of our eyes, you know, because we didn't even know about it, you know. But yeah, that's how these folks are, man. They'll take something like that and hide it, you know, put it in plain sight, make it a resort. Oh, you can go check in and, you know, spend a couple of days here, and to those folks, you know, it's romantic, you know, to be in a slave plantation, you know, and spend a couple of nights there, and they'll tell their friends about it. Yo, yeah, it's a slave plantation. We stayed there for a week, John and I, you know, but you know, it was one of those things that one of those plantations we didn't even know anything about. But I'll tell you this, Malcolm X said, he said, you know, a field nigga would say, you know, they'd be wishing for a damn wind to come by, and actually it happened. Hey, salam alaikum. All right.
The Nottoway plantation in White Castle has been declared a total loss after a massive fire yesterday afternoon. Officials are now working to clear the remains of the historic site. Jordan Ponzio joins us live in Naperville Parish as that cleanup continues.
Brittany, it's now been over 24 hours since that fire started, and the fire marshal's office is here currently investigating the cause of that fire that completely destroyed the Nottoway plantation mansion. That fire started a little after 2 p.m. yesterday in the south wing of the mansion. 10 different fire departments responded to the fire. After the first couple of hours, it seemed that it was contained until high winds caused it to re-spark.
Back during slavery, when black people like me talked to the slaves, they didn't kill him. They'd send some old house Negro along behind him to undo what he said. You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check. He put them back on the plantation. The house Negro could afford to do that because he lived better than the field Negro. He ate better, he dressed better, and he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. He ate the same food his master ate and wore his same clothes. And he could talk just like his master, good diction. And he loved his master more than his master loved himself. That's why he didn't want his master hurt. If the master got sick, he'd say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick?" When the master's house caught a fire, he'd try and put the fire out. He didn't want his master's house burned. He never wanted his master's property threatened. And he was more defensive of it than the master was. That was the house Negro. But then you had some field Negroes who lived in huts, had nothing to lose. They wore the worst kind of clothes, they ate the worst food, and they caught hell. They felt the sting of the lash. They hated their master. Oh, yes, they did. If the master got sick, they prayed that the master died. If the master's house caught a fire, they prayed for a strong wind to come along. This was a...
Right. It actually happened. That tripped me out, you know. Yeah, so they said the fire was about out, and then a strong wind came through and it blazed it up again, you know. So how ironic is that? I tell you, boy. You know, we're kind of like caught between a rock and a hard place because we can't really do anything. So, you know, the ancestors kick in. The ancestors kick in and they do what they can, you know. And even the universe, you know, the universe knows our story. So, you know, it's a trip. But what we can't do a lot of times, that's what the ancestors and the power of the universe will do for us. So, yeah, you know, I'm not sad about it. Hope none of you guys are, you know. It's just like Malcolm said. It's just like Malcolm said, you know, the house nigga would work harder than the slave master to put the fire out. But a field Negro, he'll hope a strong wind come by, and that's exactly what happened. Strong wind. Yeah, y'all. So just wanted to come on here, and you know what? One of my favorite viewers always leaving comment. I'd like to thank you for you know, putting this up on me to make a little clip to talk about a little bit of something, you know. It is something interesting to look at and talk about, you know, and I'm sure it's going to wake a lot of us up, you know. But yeah, so thank you. You know who you are. You know who you are. I know who you are. I don't want to say your name, but, you know, because I don't have permission to say your name. But I appreciate you always tuning in and, you know, with your comments, great comments. And most of my viewers, always, all of you guys leaving great comments and, you know, even sometimes kind of steer me in a right direction, a different direction anyway. I appreciate it. So you guys, I appreciate you. I haven't been consistent, but we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. And I'll see you soon on the next video. Thank you for joining me. Okay, peace.